Thank you. Members, we now come to the Earthquake Commission Amendment Bill. The question is that Part 1 stand part. I'll call Stuart Smith.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Well, I'll start out by saying that the National Party will be actually supporting this bill, with one very fine SOP to go on with that as well, which will actually put this bill into shape that will make it fit for purpose, which it isn't at this stage. But first of all, in Part 1, though, the collection of information, which is a major part of this bill, just to tidy up and make sure that it is that EQC is acting within the law and can collect information and share it so that the community gets a greater good out of that, and that's right and proper. The National Party was certainly in full support of that. But Clause 7, which is was one area that we did have quite a bit of concern about, which is extending the period that a claim can be made, and it goes into 7.2, where the notice under subclause 1A must be given to the Commission not more than 3 months after the damage occurred or any longer period prescribed by the regulations under the Act. So under B, that is 2B, subject to subclause 2B, after the period set out in paragraph A has expired, but not more than 2 years after damage had occurred or any longer period prescribed by the regulations in this Act, you can put a claim in. In fact, under regulation making power, they can make it as long, the Commission can make it as long as they need to make it, however long that is. And the concern we had, and still have, is that really insurance companies have a set period where 60 days, if a house is abandoned or a property hasn't been lived in or visited for 60 days and you haven't notified your insurance company, some insurance companies put a significant excess in. One's a $10,000 excess. Others just won't cover you for your in the event of an insurance event. So it's a sort of a long-held tenet, if you like, that would occur. Now, the risk here with EQC is, of course, people might think they've got plenty of time to put in an insurance claim. How anyone could go 2 years without knowing that they didn't have an insurance, that they had an insurance issue that they needed to deal with, an EQC issue, is beyond me. But there is, of course, a caveat in 2B. If notice is given after the time of expiring, the Commission may decline the claim if it is given before the notice was given and it materially prejudices the Commission's ability to assess the claim. And that is the risk here, that delaying a claim makes it very difficult for the assessors to pin down what earthquake. If you get a complex sequence of events like we had in Christchurch, it's quite difficult to ascertain which one it is. Is it one event? Is it 2 events? Is it 3 events? And that can have quite a significant difference to the amount of money that could be claimed by a claimant. And it also puts them in such a position that if there is damage over and above that, their insurance company might not cover that either, because I can't see how they would not know they'd had an insurance claim unless they were out of the country or completely incapacitated. But to put some numbers around it, it was, in the case of the Christchurch event, 99% of the earthquake claims were in within a year. In the Kaikoura event, it was 99% within 3 months. And that was down to, which will be in the next part, so I won't discuss it in too much detail now, but down to the arrangement between insurance companies and EQC, where a claimant could put in a claim in and not go through the process, the very inefficient process of making 2 claims. A claim going through EQC once it's determined to be above the cap, then having to go in the back of the queue with an insurance company, which makes a very already stressful situation much more so. So the time limit is something that we had concerned about. In the end, we decided to support it anyway. We were in a generous mood. It is a bit sloppy, and I think it's got some real fishhooks in it, and I think it's incumbent upon EQC to get the message out there that you are putting yourself at great risk if you don't put your claim in within the prescribed period of 3 months.
I'll call the Honourable Dr Megan Roberts.
I'll just take a very quick call here, Madam Chair, just to